Great. Vijay, thank you so much for coming.
Oh,
And
my pleasure.
super fit. Amazing. Very inspiring.
Trying
I
to get in shape.
love the picture
Trying to
that
get
you
in shape.
sent. Oh my God. Especially I love the picture that I used for the poster. Insanely beautiful picture. I
Thank you.
mean,
Thank you
it's
so much.
very
Thank
well
you so much.
shot and you're looking amazing in it. Awesome. Uh,
Yeah.
the thing is, I mean, I've always wanted you on my podcast, Vijay. I have to be
Yeah.
honest.
Thank you so much for
The
having
thing
me.
that uh, I I've been wanting to speak to you for almost a year, I should say.
Yeah.
It's not that I didn't approach you then. Probably I was just waiting for the right time. And
Yeah.
the thing is, this journey has been extremely magical. And I've had your guest number 80, by the way, as of
Oh,
today.
wow. Nice.
So it's been a very special journey for me, and I had never
Nice.
imagined
Thanks.
that it'll turn out to be something like this. And almost all of your colleagues have come on the podcast, and including Sir himself.
Yeah.
And it all started off with a little thought that I had a year ago in March last year is when I work here in IT here in Australia,
Mm-hmm.
and then I finished work and I was sitting on my couch and I just thought I'll look for an A.R. Rahman podcast and nothing came up. Then I
Uh,
just thought, you know what? I have to start one podcast. Right that minute, I spoke to Sir and I told him, Sir, ஒரு podcast start பண்ணோம் sir. There is nothing. I want your music to be celebrated. And his
Kandipa.
response was just a smile. And I straight away went to the electronic store, got all the stuff that I needed to start a podcast. And that day it started. And then, about 2 months later, Sir himself came.
Oh,
And
nice.
it's been a magical ride. So
That's so nice. That's so
thank you
nice.
so much for coming.
I
It's
think it takes people like you kind of, to remind us that people out there really appreciate, the efforts taken to create music by such great musicians and such great legends like Rahman sir. And for him to still be around after so many years and still do things up to date, and it shows how learning he is still,
yeah.
and like how he keeps on, like, yeah, on the venue of the trailer and audio launch,
Mm-hmm.
he was praising, and this is not something that he was just simply saying to to kiss ass or anything like that. He doesn't need to, to people like who, I mean, the younger generation, the young crop,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Yuvan Shankar Raja, GV Prakash, and Anirudh, and to tell them that you guys are the ones who are inspiring me to keep going,
Wow.
and trying new things.
Yeah.
That's a big thing for a legend like him to say. And I don't think and I think, and I'm sure, and I'm sure he really means it too. you
He
know
does. Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. And I
Yeah.
don't know, I did watch the audio launch as well, and I was a bit emotional when Sir was speaking, and he
Yeah.
was from his heart, quite obviously. And then uh, he really wants the movie to work, no doubt. It's been his dream for a long
I
time,
know. I know. I know. I know.
and
I can
we're all
imagine.
praying for
I
that.
mean, to be in something, for so long, like a legend, and and
Yeah,
then to put your foot into something else in the industry, there's always going to be some kind of criticism from people, and
yeah,
because of him, I think everybody just loves him. So I think we all will support him, and but at the same time, I'm sure he doesn't want to just be feathered. I think he really wants to achieve it, and that's really shows in the way he's promoting this, and trying to get it out there, that
mm,
he's got something interesting to show everybody. So
indeed.
let's hope, fingers crossed, that it comes out really well for him.
I'm sure it will. And the
Yeah.
likes of yourself in the album, and then this immense support that you're offering, it's
Yeah. No,
incredible.
no, I think it's a very big thing for me. It's like the first time that, I mean, I guess nowadays it doesn't really matter maybe, but for me, from the times of cassettes,
Yeah,
I've been singing, so
yeah,
to see your name on top of that, like, playlist, that means something great, like, for me, I mean, it might not mean much actually if you look at it, but to be on an album in his music is itself is a big thing. So, from Shivaji in 2007
Yeah.
to barely like, making it into the album with an unplugged version of Sahara. I remember like I recorded it, and then that was with, like Chinmay, and then from there, they obviously had Udit ji, and for the film, and then they had another version with Gomati and me, an unplugged version. But that unplugged version also got so well appreciated because Sir decided to put it in the album somehow. So even like if you take to like Avalum Nanam,
Yes.
it was supposed to be for OK Kanmani. That we recorded it. It was for OK Kanmani, but I think Mani sir um, replaced it with Paranda Selva,
Yeah.
and he was going to put it just in the audio. And
Yeah.
I think Sir held it back, saying that if you're not going to use it in the film, I'm not giving it to you. I think, and this is what I heard. I don't know if I think that is the truth of it. And so when I sang that for OK Kanmani, it was a different voice altogether. It was kind of like a husky, very different feel, Avalam Nanam.
Wow.
And then when he kept it, and then Gautam Menon sir heard it for Achaman with Madameda.
Yeah. Yeah.
He wanted it for that, and then I went in again, and I recorded it again in my usual voice, and then that's how it's come out in that film.
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
so
We're,
even this song, and the song, the way we like, it's just the experience is just the same for every song that we record, that I'm able to record for him. There's something or the other that happens, and it's just so wonderful always.
Amazing. I can't wait to deep dive into each of these songs, Vijay. And all the songs that you have mentioned are very, very close to my heart. And then there's also a very special story behind some of those songs, which I'm very keen to tell you about. But before we do that, how's dad?
He's wonderful. He's in Dallas.
Wow.
I haven't seen him for over a year now,
Yeah.
except for video calls.
Yeah.
But in a way, I think it's safe that he's there at home, in Dallas rather than here in Chennai. If he's here, people end up coming and seeing him, or he'll end up being pulled for functions or that or this or whatever. But so he's there in Dallas with my younger brother and his wife, and I
Nice.
mean my mom as well with him. So
Nice.
he's safe, he's healthy. They've already taken their vaccines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they're kind of waiting for me to go, and then maybe fly back with me. So maybe sometime this month I might fly off to
Oh, wow.
US.
Oh, wow. Okay. I caught you at the right time then before you flew.
Hmm. That's still more time. So
Right. And then, look, please say my hello.
I I'm gonna I'm snacking on something very
Please,
yummy.
please.
Number
Yeah, that's the best part about it.
number
It's super casual.
number.
Amazing. I love. Oh man, it's so yummy.
I just had this, maid cut up some, raw mangoes, and
Yeah.
I put some nice molage and uppu,
Oh
and
man.
like nicely pacified. I thought it'll be a nice thing to
Love it.
use it as a prop during our chat.
Perfect. And yeah, I mean, when you talk to dad, please tell him, please pass on my hello to him and tell him that there is
I
one
will. I will.
super crazy A.R. Rahman fan who sits in Australia and does all this stuff.
Surely, surely, surely.
So, Vijay, I mean, before we dive into the musical journey, I'm very keen to hear what's been your childhood like. I mean, what is it like to be Yesudas sir's son? Did that mean actually a lot of pressure on you, or and also the second part of that question is music has always been in the genes and it's in your family, and when did you decide that you're going to take a plunge?
Um, I think childhood was never. Childhood was never like full of pressure or
Mm,
anything like that. I think because my dad always lived a very
mm,
simple, and you know he was flying all the time, or and he would take us with him
yeah,
for tours. I remember, we like my classmates, and like we sit and talk even now about how you know I used to be out of school, like out of 150 days, I used to be out of school 80 days, and I'll come back after summer, and the school starts, and then I'll be back after like some 60 days or something, and then I'll walk into class like, in the middle of the semester. And not a good thing, but if you want to be, anything but a singer, but but I
Mm.
think for me, I think even back then I was just along for the ride. I just went with the flow, and
Yeah.
even coming into singing and all that stuff all happened with the flow. I had the interest. I showed the interest a little bit, but it's not like I was like some prodigy or anything like that. I was hardly anything like, like some of these kids at the age of 6 and 7 and 8 and all that. I recorded my first song when I was 8 for a film for Dakshinamurti Sami. But it was just a child voice, and I wasn't like a great, prodigy or anything like that. So I just took it like very easy. And then when I went to college, I went to the US, and high school. I finished like till the ninth. I was in the school KFI in Chennai.
Mm.
So அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் me and my brothers moved to the US and all that.
Right.
So the pressure was never there, and I think more so when we went to the US,
Mm.
even more like the pressure went off even more. Like we were nobody there, in the sense like we were not Yeshudas's children, or like we were not treated like in a big way or anything like that. Even here, except for maybe at home with the maybe the maid, like the drivers, the maids, or people that we grew up with. Other than that, it's not like everybody else outside in school or something treated us like on a silver platter or anything like that. Like in the school and all, we were like normal kids. We were like everybody else. So when we went to the US, it became even more like simple, and we started, like washing the dishes, washing the clothes. We had washing machines. The only difference was that we had washing machines there, but we had to iron our own clothes,
Yeah.
and keep it all. Over here we had all the people helping us do all that. But I think once we went there, and I got so used to that. I remember like even now in a home in Florida, like I used to iron my brother's clothes or my father's shirts and stuff like that, when we're going out and all that, because I liked ironing. I like keeping things clean. Like I liked, like making the bed and stuff like that. So
Wow.
like I'd annoy the heck out of people. Like my aunt would come over, my mom's sister would come over to sleep, like from wherever, and I'd be like, just 1 second, let me just put the bed properly. Let me just make the bed properly before we sleep.
Love it.
Before we sleep, and then that's how I am. And even now I'm pretty much that. So like even here, like when I travel, and I pack my own clothes, I make sure I put my laundry bags together so to be sent for laundry
Yeah.
service, and I segregate my clothes and my stuff all the time. So I pack, I repack, I unpack all that on my own.
Wow. Super
So
organized.
I don't have an assistant even now. So
Wow.
some of my friends, they say, you need an assistant. It's like I don't want an assistant, because it's difficult to teach him how I want things. Him or her, whatever. So I like being on my own most of the time.
Beautiful. Love it. Love it.
So
And
I mean, this whole pressure of my father's thing, that only came in maybe when I started singing, but
yeah.
maybe the first 6, 7 years in Malayalam, especially.
Yeah.
But even Tamil, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
There were comparisons and all that stuff, but
Yeah.
I just took it in the stride. I started getting used to it, and then I started realizing they're comparing me to him, if anything, and there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing they can do about it either. They just have to either they have to accept me, or rather they have to, eventually they will accept me if I do good. If I don't, they won't. It's as simple as that. So I had
Wow.
to prove myself. Yeah.
Because I mean, yeah, I mean, we
I
all
think
have.
it's easy. I think it's easier. It's easier to get a step into the industry to have a father like that. But my father never recommended me to Rahman sir or Ilayaraja sir or
Yeah.
anybody,
Yeah.
and none of them called me. Uh, you know, initially, maybe the first time, but more so like I think like Yuvan was the one who kind of gave me my first break in Tamil and all that, right?
Yeah.
Like I, I didn't sing for any of the, like I sang for Ilayaraja sir before that in Malayalam a little bit and like that. So like romancers, it was like way after that in 2007 when I had like a big hit in Malayalam and I had a breakthrough there. But this happened before that, like Shivaji happened before that. So it all happens. I think everything happens when it's supposed to happen, and you can't control it. You can push your way in as much as you want with your father's name, but if you want to stay there, you better be good. So
Of course. Of course. And you're super amazing, and we absolutely love you for everything.
nah, I think I'm still growing. I think now I'm just at more ease with how my voice is and how my voice is growing and maturing and all that stuff. And and you can't sing everything, so I think you just have to just enjoy whatever you get to sing. And then now it's about independent music also. You got to start creating stuff for yourself as
Mm.
well. I think this lockdown has proven that a lot more for musicians and singers, unlike ever before. So
Did, did COVID, how should I put it? Let me rephrase what I wanted to ask. Uh, did the lockdown give you more creative space in the last 1 year?
it really gave a lot of stress. but uh,
For sure.
yeah, I think, see, for me, I'm too much of a perfectionist. Like, how I said about making a bed. It's like that's how I make music. So I
When I
think.
have to invite you home, Vijay, I know I'll have to do 1 week preparation before you come in.
No, no. I adjust when I go to somebody else's. But my home, like my space, like I just rented a place in Cochin
Hang
a
on.
few
Let
months
me
ago.
just sort out my sofa cover before you look at it.
No, no, no. No,
I'm
I'm
just joking.
totally. See, I'm totally fine when it's somebody else's space. I just because I go travel, and when I go for shoot or for anything, concerts and stuff like that, we don't get to stay at five-star hotels all the time. So that's a different thing altogether. If anything, like I know that I'm going and I get the link for my hotel, I'll maybe look it up. I'll just make sure that it's like a neat enough hotel. The bathroom is nice. That's all. So maybe I might carry a bed sheet or a pillow cover or something like that. But that's about it.
Yeah. So, again, I'm sorry. I want to come back.
Yeah,
Obviously, the lockdown was stressful.
yeah. So we went from there to this. But I'm saying, yeah, like lockdown. I mean, like kind of made me sit and kind of look through, like I used to, like, on Logic, sit and compose some things on and off for a lot of years before.
Wow.
And then those were songs were just sitting there like that. And I recently got tested, like, in December. I got COVID, and I was in Cochin at that time, and
Mm,
I just finished a concert, online, like not a concert actually, it was more like an event.
mm,
And so, like, somewhere, I had a song shoot for my film that I was doing,
mm,
Salmon 3D. So the song shoot, we had dinner. It was a night shoot from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
mm.
And I got food poisoned that night. And then the next day I was kind of fully down.
Yeah.
And then basically the infection caught on, and
Oh
that's
my.
how I got it. Because six
Wow.
months before that, 6 months before that, since May to December, I've been traveling up and down Chennai and Cochin for recordings and stuff like that, and I had never gotten sick, and my immunity was pretty good. But when I got food poison and my
Yeah.
immunity went down,
Wow.
then I got hit, and then I still kind of managed for 3 days. I got sick after 3 days, and then I got fever. Fever was quite
Oh,
bad,
yeah.
so I got admitted in a hospital in Cochin.
Sorry.
Sadly, it was through Christmas and close to New Year's, so I missed Christmas with my kids and stuff like that. But I think it was an experience, like that. Like, I actually sat with my laptop. I actually went through all those songs that I had composed earlier, and
Mm,
I picked and choose about one or two songs that maybe that I would want to, you know, uh, come out with next. Like release into my YouTube channel and all that stuff.
mm,
Like for Onam, in fact, through lockdown, for Onam, in fact, I kind of composed a song, along with a friend,
mm.
and we had invited 10 new lyricists, 10 new writers, to write Onam lyrics, for 10 songs. So
Yeah.
we have a singers association in Malayalam, called Samam.
Yeah.
And so as an Onam celebration, 10 singers, we brought out our own singles type of
Mm.
thing with those writers. And
Beautiful.
so, like, one of the songs that came to me was about Tarangani, like my dad's label, about Tarangani's history of songs. So the lyrics had all these words from different songs that my dad had sung. So they all thought that it would be appropriate that I sing it, or I compose, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I composed it, and that's a song I launched my YouTube channel with. So I
Beautiful.
guess, in a way, the creative side of me kind of got open with the lockdown, with that side. But I'm actually very bad at this whole thing, like social media. Just I'm on Instagram, like, and Twitter and all that, but just very very rarely on Twitter. But on Instagram, more so personally than actually pushing myself professionally or marketing myself professionally or anything like that. So if you see like my tags and everything, so my creative side, as far as music and like this whole composing side of me, kind of started opening up again, and I'm glad. That's one good thing. And I'm still working on a next single. I've kind of gotten the Tamil lyrics written by Madan Karki sir, and
Yeah.
Malayalam by um, BK Harinarayan, who's a
Yeah.
popular lyricist
Yeah.
there. So like so like I'm working on stuff, but I want to do it in a multilingual thing. So like Hindi, Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam, it'll be in all four languages.
Beautiful.
So kind of put me in that Hindi platform as well. In this independent music is something that I'm looking for as well. So we'll see.
Wow.
Maybe I'm too old for it, but I don't know. I guess there's no age for such things.
Oh, no, 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 no such thing. I mean, age is just a number.
Yeah.
And of course, yes, it's so inspiring to hear you speak. It's amazing because
I talk too much sometimes. I just keep on
no,
going.
that's the best part.
If
This is
I string, and I can end up saying too
so
much.
here's
But
a
yeah,
fun fact. One of your colleagues mentioned to me. I said that Vijay is going to come on the podcast, and I was told, okay, he's one great guy to talk to, and you will have a lot of fun.
I hope they're right.
Of course, I'm having so much fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thing is, I mean, I want to slightly step back again. Of course, um, Dad is a legend, and we all love him, and absolutely love him. I keep going back and watching all the videos on YouTube, and I don't know what I would do without music personally. And then it's such an impression that Dad has created, no doubt. I was just wanting to know if there are any, of course, Sir has, Dad has recorded with Sir, and has there been instances where Dad has come back from recording with Sir and narrated any of those memories or the experience at all?
I remember going for one of the recordings, and I think that was I think it was Uravan or
Yeah,
Uravan,
yeah.
right?
Uro.
Uravan. I think ராக்கோழி ரெண்டும்
Oh, yeah.
முழிச்சிருக்கு ரெண்டும் சூடாம that song, and I think it
Yeah.
was that song, and there was also one more song in that, which is a lullaby. In fact, the beginning of that song and the beginning of Sitire Nila is very similar with a baby crying.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
True.
um, so I think that like என்னத்தா பொன்னத்தா என்னத்தா விட்டு போனா. It's a beautiful song.
Beautiful.
I mean, I think all the songs in that film are so amazing, and um, I think Pennala Pennala is also from the same film, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so I mean, like all the songs are so beautiful, and I think that's one song. And then I remember when I was in college in the US. Um, so at that time, nobody knows like I'm Yesudas' son, and not many people in like when I'm I was in University of Miami, so there are a lot of North Indians
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
and so not many people know my dad like just like that. And I don't. It's not like I go around saying I'm Yesudas' son. So like when I recorded when I performed for like we have this Indian association in the college, and when I think it was my second or third year that I finally kind of mustered up the courage to perform in front of them, and I sang one of my dad's Hindi songs. It was an older चंचल आंखों में मैं प्रेम का सागर पा ही लिया, or something like that.
Yeah.
And so me and a friend from there, Sharon, she's a singer, so both of us sang actually.
Yeah.
And it's after that everybody was like, "Oh my God, your father sang this and that and this." And then that's around the time when O Bhavre came out from Dord. And so some of those North Indians were like, "Your father sang O Bhavre, O Bhavre is such a popular song in my village back in India." And some of them were like, they're like, "That song is so popular right now," and blah blah blah. And I was like, wow, that like made me feel like, wow, that's nice. And I remember like this is in 96, 97 when when my second year or whatever of college, and we're in the hall, we're decorating the Halloween, like Halloween decorations
Yeah.
and I blast my stereo in my room with Chaya Chaya. And and it shows the difference of how people's attitude changes over from then to like Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah.
Like I played it in full blast, and me and my roommate, is my cousin, and then another Indian
Yeah.
college mate of mine, and my sweet mate is a Chinese guy, but he listens to all music and all that. He was enjoying like all these girls in the it's a mixed dorm, so like all these girls down the hall, they're like, what is that noise, can you please turn it down? Back then that's how they reacted to that music, and I was like, how can you call this noise? And then now, like he has, he has an Oscar. It's just amazing. It's just amazing that things have changed so much since then. I
Indeed.
always think back to that when he won the first Oscar also, I was just thinking, wow, for me, he should have won an Oscar for Lagan, if you ask me.
True.
Lagan itself as a film also should have won a lot of things, but like yeah, it's just sometimes that's how it works. But it's just amazing how time flies, and that this is how it is now.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yeah.
And I, this is going to be a tricky one. Any of your favorites from what Dad has recorded for Sir? I can tell you one, Ninja Ninja for sure.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, actually kind of slipped my mind right now, but I mean, that's actually what the favorite, if anything.
You have no idea what an
And
impact this song has on
oof.
me. It
and
it
and
drives
and
me
and
nuts.
one thing I feel really sad about is that iTunes doesn't have it in India. I don't know if it's in India or if it's thing. It's
Uh,
just not there on iTunes, and
Same
I
deal
just
on
don't know why.
Spotify as
They
well.
have the Telugu. It's not on Spotify either.
No.
Oh, that sucks. I was actually thinking now most of my listening is on Spotify more than more than iTunes now, but then I was hoping I would find it on
But the thing
Spotify,
is,
but
the way it's
I hate
very
listen
funny.
because to be honest, I hate listening. I mean, I shouldn't say it, but like I hate listening to music on YouTube.
Yeah, no,
Or,
same, same.
for me, like I prefer, like at least Spotify. So,
Correct, correct.
um,
Yeah.
so
So yes, Ninja Ninja, and then what else?
Ninja
Oh
Ninja,
Power
yeah.
for sure.
No, I mean, actually, Ninja Ninja is like right on top of the
Right
list.
on the top. Okay.
Obaware is not exactly it's not one of my favorites, but it's like, it's there on my playlist, and it pops up once in a while. And, once it starts, you just end up listening to it. And it's just such a catchy, and beautiful song. Um, there's another song that Appa sung for the Tamil version of, um, I think it's a Shah Rukh Khan film. Um, oh, just at the tip of my tongue. They I think Pardesi, what is it? Not Pardes. The one where he's a scientist or rather like a thing, and he comes to the
Oh,
village to
Swadesh. Swadesh.
Swadeshi, not Pardes, yeah. So Swadesh,
Yeah, yeah,
Swadesh, and the song that I think Udit ji sings in Hindi, I think my dad sang in Tamil. It's a lullaby again,
yeah, yeah,
but that's a beautiful song.
yeah.
Um, I remember, in fact, like you asked about my dad coming back and
Yeah.
talking about a song. I think Nenje Nenje was one of those songs. Like
Right.
when we listened to it on the stereo or whatever, and I remember him telling me that humming, in the background, that's actually he made me do it. And then, he was just kind of describing the recording and
Wow.
all that stuff. Which he very rarely does. Like sometimes, like during like after once CDs came up, he used to bring back like a rough mix of whatever he recorded.
Yeah,
And I guess maybe it never happened at maybe Roman's studio, but he used to do
yeah.
it with other recordings in Malayalam and Tamil and all that stuff. So yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. Uh, I mean, especially Ninja Ninja and all. I mean, I don't know. It's a timeless classic, and every time I
Yeah,
listen.
another favorite would be Vennilavin
Oh yeah,
Therilleri Kadal Devam Neril Vandale. Oh, the strings and the cello. Oh my God.
do it.
I can see all those songs I know like by heart. I mean, like, you know, the the groove and the rhythm and the whole thing is just amazing.
And also Pachai Kiligal.
Oh yeah, I mean, particularly is like I think is one of those classics.
Yeah.
Everybody wants you to kind of sing it at a concert even today,
Mm.
and it just works so well with all audiences. No, I think
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
so. Yeah, I think I think obviously that's one song, maybe one of the only songs, for the very few songs that he sang it in Hindi as well, right? Um,
No, yes, 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 yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes, he did.
yeah.
And yeah, I mean, of course, just slightly moving ahead. Um, the first time ever you met Sir ARR, Sir, it was
So
in your childhood
other
for
than
sure,
this, yeah, but this like for urban recording or one of those recordings. Um, but after that, I think I haven't I didn't properly meet him. Like I went to the US and whatnot.
yeah,
When
yeah,
I started my career, I remember the only two people that I went and met like for a chance, or maybe you can't even say that I went and asked for a chance, but
yeah.
like I went with a CD, like a demo
Wow,
of a few songs that I recorded maybe. Um, and I went to Roman sir, and
it's
I
amazing
remember
that
even
even you had to do something like this, Vijay. That's very inspiring.
I couldn't do it with a lot of people, but with Ilayaraja sir and like Roman sir, like were the only two
Yeah,
people that I actually could, like because I got introduced into the film industry when I was in the US. I was in college in my final year,
yeah,
and in '99 I came down and I recorded for Vidyasagar sir,
yeah,
and Millennium Stars
yeah,
in Malayalam. That's my
yeah.
beginning. But in Tamil, it was kind of Deva sir was my first Tamil recording, but then Ilayaraja sir was my like proper first release that happened with friends.
Right.
Um, then after that and all that, I went to sir to meet him, and I gave a CD, and he asked me, like I remember what he asked me, and I was in his office like across the table, and he asked me, what do you want to do?
Wow.
What do you want to do with the music that you know? Or that's what he asked me, and I was like, I didn't have an answer for him. Like during the audio launch, in fact, we didn't have much time to talk, so
Yeah.
that was something I wanted to talk about. Like after 20 years now, I've been in and
Yeah.
now kind of now I have an answer, kind of. Even now, it's still kind of. So,
You're
uh,
being very
but
humble.
when he asked me that, no, no, but it's true. But like even now, you feel like there's so much you can do. Like I feel like I want to be like more global, and try even I don't know if I'll be good at it or not. English or Spanish. Like I studied Spanish
Wow.
music, and like because when I studied Western vocals in University of Miami, I did a BA in music and
Yeah.
minor degree in theater. So
Yeah.
when I studied Western vocals and all that, like I had to study how I had to learn German songs, Latin songs, French and
Wow.
Italian, and I guess being like a South Indian, or maybe in a sense like Malayali, or from the South, our languages are so diverse and like so difficult. I was able to adapt to those languages quite
Beautiful.
nicely.
Beautiful.
So like my teacher would wonder like how are you able to pronounce all this so well? And I was like, I come from the land of Kerala. I come like mass dialogue when you put that. I come from I come from Chennai. I come from the mass of like the land of Kerala, where our language is full of tongue twisters.
Yeah.
Um, so I think, but that's the truth of it, though. I mean, I was able to kind of blend in with those
Yeah.
languages quite well.
Yeah.
And I had to learn it properly also. I couldn't just,
Yeah.
half-ass it when I was learning for theory exams and stuff like that. I had to go present those things, and I had to explain what the meaning of some of those, songs were. And, I had to
Yeah.
properly learn it. You had to go sit
Yeah.
in the library, do research on the songs you learned and stuff like that.
Wow.
I think coming back here though, you kind of go backwards, a little bit, because we are very, we go immediately into the studio, we learn the song in like 15-20 minutes, and then record it in like few hours.
Wow.
It puts a lot more, effort actually to
Yeah.
learn it so quickly and all that. It takes a lot more effort actually. Um, but I think that kind of seasons you in a better way
Mm.
for, like maybe under pressure type of thing. But and then so as now, like as I'm like a little older and 20 years down the line, now I like take more time to learn a tune, and I'm not in a hurry to go into the booth and sing it off and finish it off and go. But you get like you get kind of used to it. Like with Sir, like when he asked me that question, like I didn't know, like I didn't know what I wanted to do, and like even now after 20 years, sometimes you get frustrated with the kind of way you're treated after 20 years, or the way all these things, like then you just think, what, let it just come. What happens happens. You kind of, I think in the lockdown, during the lockdown, there was a lot of things that you kind of thought about, that you think about rather. um, our industry is definitely not made for musicians and singers to last a long time, because
Yeah.
they keep coming up with new stuff, and our independent music is not strong enough. Our music industry on its own is not strong enough, and so people like Rahman sir, and like how they've come out with
Mm,
um, Maja, and
mm,
all these things. It's a great thing that everybody is coming out with their own YouTube channel, and being able to stand on your own feet is
mm,
very important here
mm.
on out, because film industry is for the superstars, or rather stars, the actors, and we are at the end of the food chain. And as much as everybody loves being
Wow.
in that film industry, and we love, and that's what's made us, given us our names and all that stuff. After a point, they can throw you out anytime they want. And I think as a singer, as a music director, as a lyricist, everybody, I think we all face that. And I'm not trying to create a controversy or anything like
No,
that. I'm just
understand. Yeah.
saying the facts as it is.
Yeah.
And it's not wrong on anybody, because that's just how this industry is. It's dependent on the film industry. But I think it's about time that the music industry stands on its own,
Mm.
independently, and I think that's turning. I think this lockdown kind of is helping in a way to turn that towards that. Let's hope so.
I'm sure at least
Yeah,
it's a positive sign. Let's put it that way.
yeah, definitely. I think everything that happens. I think the lockdown in itself.
Yeah.
There were times when during the lockdown, first few months, when there were no cars outside and no
Yeah.
bikes and no noise, like you could actually start hearing the birds chirp.
Yeah.
It sounds very dramatic and philosophical, but it's true. But it's actually true. Like you could go outside, and you could, or rather sit in the house, and you could hear the birds singing outside and all that stuff like that. So I think all that, you saw news channels that dolphins and whales started coming into the channels, and and whatnot. So like I think there's something that we're doing wrong in all these years, that something that we've not been doing right, that we maybe, I think naturally it got corrected last year a little bit at least. Now it's gone back to, like, I think in India especially, it's gone back to, like, you know crazy times again, and that's why the cases are going up and all that stuff. But anyway,
Yeah.
let's get back to music.
No, no, yeah. I mean, that's totally true. I mean, it was the nature had to reset, I think, with everything that was going on, and
I think it always does, and I think no human power or human created power can overcome nature, no matter what.
yeah, yeah, indeed. Very, very inspiring to hear you speak. Honestly, I love it. I could talk to you for
Yes.
hours.
I don't get tired talking. My friends get bored. My friends get bored. Danush and Aishwarya, like, if I start telling them a story about something, they're like, "Ayyo, ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டான். இப்போ நிறைய நேரம் ஃபுல் ஸ்கிரிப்ட கேட்ட பிறகுதான் நம்ம ஏதாவது சொல்ல முடியும்." அந்த மாதிரி they make fun of me.
And
So yeah, they have kind of seasoned me to kind of cut short my stories. I think. So you're actually listening to a more more tight and crisp, Vijay speaking right now.
no, no. I mean, when I travel to India or when you travel here to Melbourne, we
I was
definitely have
there
to
just
catch up.
I was just there about what, 4 months before lockdown. I mean, like 2019 October,
Wow,
I had come down for a
wow.
friend's
Yeah, yeah,
private function. But yeah,
yeah. Next time,
yeah,
please let me know,
yeah. I'm waiting. I'm
and
waiting to come back.
I'll take you for a ride in the I love ARR car.
Yeah, let's do that.
And so there is a little story I want to narrate, Vijay. So
Okay.
Sahara song, and
Hmm.
it came out in a very interesting time, at least interesting time for me in my life. I was
Hmm.
I work in IT, as I told you, and I was then working for a client in Tasmania, and super stressful environment like crazy, and there would be days where I would be literally in tears with the stress, and that's the amount of stress that I would be going through. And there was this
Mm.
one day, I was going through hell inside the office, and I thought, you know what, I'll just go out for a walk and get a fresh perspective on things, and pulled out my iPod then, and then just hit the shuffle, and this song played. And
Oh,
you have no idea what an impact it had at that point in time where I was literally in tears. And this took me to a whole new world. And I felt so good that I went for a long walk, 25 minutes, and this song would have played so many times again and again, again and again. And I felt magic in it. And your voice was just out of
uh,
the world. And
thank
I
you. Thank you
became a
so much.
huge fan of yours right from that point. And I'm not saying this to
Thank you.
flatter
Thank
you or
you.
anything. I'm being extremely
No, no,
honest.
I know, I know.
But
I
this
mean,
is
there's
an
so much.
massive impact that had on me
Thank you so much.
whilst
Thank you so
being
much.
away from home, overseas, and uh, pressure and whatnot. Music
Yeah,
has helped me so much, and especially this particular song. So, first
yeah.
of all, I wanted to thank you for singing this for
No,
Sir
thank you. I
because
mean,
it's a
I
magic.
guess we both have to. I guess we both have to thank only one person, and that's ARR sir for giving me that song and giving me that version. In fact, um, and yeah, I mean, from then on, I mean, like for me, because I'm a big Talivar variant, and so I was like, how I don't know if you know, like the managers, they call you like right then and there. They say they call you and they're like, எங்க இருக்கீங்க? Sir, இன்னைக்கு வர சொன்னாரு. இல்ல, so this is how they call, like as if you're a doctor on call, and you kind of like, so that day I got a call from one of the managers, and
Yeah.
I just started. I had already missed a few calls from Rahman sir, and because I keep traveling for concerts and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And that day was surprisingly. So I was in Trivandrum,
Right.
and there was a series of concerts with the Malayalam industry, music
Mm,
industry. So my father was there, and I had already performed on the first day,
mm.
and the second day was this day, and there's another third or fourth day that where the finale, final day, I'm supposed to record,
Yeah.
sing as well.
Yeah.
So my dad and I were leaving from the hotel to the venue,
Yeah.
and I get called from the manager, and he asks me, "Where are you?" Like obviously I knew exactly why he's asking, so I'm like, I'm at home. Why? and and he said, okay, come today evening to the studio, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And I was like, yeah, okay, fine. the I'm like at the lobby. I immediately call a travel agent friend of mine, and I said, what's the next flight? And it is like around 4 o'clock. 5:10 there's a flight from Trivandrum to Chennai.
Oof.
I literally went back to my room, just packed a small, like like a shoulder
Yeah.
bag, and I went straight to the airport. I reached by 4:40. I went in and I flew to Chennai, and I went home, changed, whatnot.
Yeah.
And then I got to the studio by like around 9:30. And that was December 12th, Talaivar birthday. Um, and I didn't think about it then. I sat there and writing the lyrics. And I remember, I think it was JD Jerry sir or somebody who was narrating the lyrics to me. And I asked, what is the film name?
Mm.
And he was like, Shivaji the boss, or Shivaji. And I was like, and like literally my like knees were like, like kind of like shaking and like, out of excitement. And I'm like writing, and I'm like, I looked at him and I'm like, okay, okay, fine. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then it hits me that day is, Talibar's birthday also.
Wow.
You know, like what a nice coincidence for me to be sitting here singing for, him and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, when I remember, yeah, so all the recordings, like if you look at Jhuta Hi Sahi,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard that song.
Of course.
From so I've been waiting,
Mm.
like that's another experience, like it
I
was.
love it.
We finished recording at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
But I got to the studio at around 10:30. Abbas Terwala,
Yeah.
he had narrated the lyrics to me and
Yeah.
all that, and I was like, wow, Hindi, and English and Hindi and all that. I was like, wow. And then we went, me, Srini sir, and me and Chetan
Yeah.
went into the studio around like 12:31,
Yeah.
12, and then we started. recording and stuff like that. And it took like about 1 hour. We're just not really getting into it and all that. And then I think it was almost like 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Maybe not 12:30, maybe a little later, but
Yeah.
it was almost like 4 o'clock. And then suddenly I hear my humming being played back and forth, and then I look behind that, the sound protecting thing behind the mic. I have to kind of look over to see what's happening, and I see Sir sitting there. And then Srini sir and Chetan have already gone like some 10 minutes ago or something. I didn't even realize he's gone. And then sir is like, Anna man, what's happening? Come on, let's record. Why are you taking so long to record just the humming and all that? Come on, let's go. And then I was standing in a kind of a little off position. He was like, come on, come close to the mic. I need to get your proper presence and stuff like
Wow.
that. And the way that recording flipped from there, like 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock, 2 hours, we finished the whole song. And I sounded like, I felt like I didn't know I could sound. That's what I said at the audio launch. I didn't know I could sound that good at 4 a.m. in the morning or 6 a.m. in the morning. And I guess it's kind of traditionally they say you have to wake up at 4 a.m. and do sadhagam and all that stuff. I guess that's kind of comes into play at that time. It's when you record at that time. So yeah, it's so amazing. Those experiences are so amazing.
Super. Are you usually a morning person or a night person? Like,
I am kind of a
it's
night owl. My,
yeah,
my now recently, I
yeah,
think after after I've crossed 40, I'm making sure that I sleep a lot more. But um, just I'm more. I've gone days without sleep sometimes,
yeah,
but I still have the energy to keep going. But
yeah.
then now, it's just got to. It takes a toll on your body if you're very active and all that. And I'm
Mm,
quite active, so
mm.
I travel, I record, I go play cricket, I play basketball, I go
Wow.
work out. So like I do all these things. So now I realize that my body needs good rest and good
Rest.
recovery and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
working out now for a new project that I've signed on. Um, it's kind of a nice thing that I'll probably hold on to let everybody know for some more months. So
Okay.
it's something exciting. So I've been training for that. So
Wow. Beautiful.
yeah,
Beautiful.
and that's
Uh,
happening on the side. The acting side of it is happening on the side. So but luckily, even after starting my acting career, also called since Mario, whatever, luckily the songs, the singing, and everything has still been more, if anything, in Telugu and even in Tamil and whatnot. So it's good.
Amazing. I mean, the reason why I asked whether you were a morning person or night person is because, of course, we
Yeah,
both know recordings usually happen only in the night with
only with so
predominantly.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I was just wanting to know if like every person will have his or her own prime time, right? Or you prefer singing in the mornings or singing in the afternoon. And again, all of a sudden you have to walk into the studio and sing with sir at 4 a.m. in the morning. What an impact it
No,
has, or
I think it's just about not getting too seasoned about all
right,
these things.
right, right.
I think my father is very sensitive in that sense.
Hmm.
He takes his time to warm up and
Right,
go into a recording
right,
studio.
right.
He takes the time to learn the song, and he'll finish the song and come off.
Yeah,
Now I'm talking about the last 10, 20
yeah,
years.
yeah,
But before that, he used to go, he's finished, him and SPP sir and all have finished 10 to 12 songs in a day or 16 songs in a day.
oof.
During the time of when they rehearsed the song for like 2 hours and they record. In those
Uh-huh.
days, with 24 hours, they still finish that many songs. And that's crazy. So
Yeah,
so I think it's all about seasoning. I think with Sir also you kind of get used to it once you go there and you
right.
maybe take a nap, maybe maybe or just whatever works for you.
Yeah,
Um, for me, if I'm like if I'm a little silent for a little while and then kind of just warm up, I just get warmed up again, or rather maybe as I sing sometimes, I just get and it just depends on the song. Um,
yeah,
so I think it's all about just seasoning yourself
right.
to any kind of circumstance. Like I wake up at 9, sometimes your voice is a little more voices like mine, which is a little more bass and like
Yeah,
baritone. It kind of gets a little grouchy in the morning, but for certain songs, some songs it works better maybe sometimes. So it's just about how you. kind of, so at least you listen. Nowadays they send the song to you on, through WhatsApp, so you kind of hear it, and then you can decide, okay, this is a song that I might probably be better off doing in the afternoon or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, amazing. I I just want to slightly step away from music because
Mhm.
since you said that you're into basketball and badminton and all that, I'm just keen to know what's a day in your life like. Uh, I'm very
I
curious
think,
because
I
I,
think, I think we'll wait like another year, and I hope I'll be the same, next year. But I mean, like, you should only if you travel with me for like a day or two, you'll kind of know, because every day is different for me. But like now, like I said, I'm training
yeah.
for this role, and so I have few things scheduled, but everything else is pretty much for me impromptu, and I don't plan my days most of the
Mm,
time because you
mm,
don't know when recordings are coming.
mm,
Like now suddenly, like I was supposed to be here the whole week, and I have a private concert in Cochin
mm,
end of this week,
mm.
and that was supposed to be on the 12th or something like that. Now it's suddenly preponed to 11th,
Oh,
onto a Sunday.
oh,
And and that's how this life is. It's so unplanned, and so, like,
mm,
suddenly when you get a call for recording, you might have to travel. So now tomorrow there's this tribute show that we're planning for SVV sir, the Singers Association
wow,
in
wow.
in Kerala.
Yeah,
We're doing a big event
beautiful.
um, in Kerala, and so, like, there's a core committee meeting happening there tomorrow in Cochin. So
Wow.
suddenly, I might have to go tomorrow. But it's kind of it's kind of working out, uh, and balancing it out somehow. And like, for me, my time with my kids is very important. So
For sure.
they keep missing me. Like, so now, because I have my you know coach, my strength and conditioning coach
Yeah,
in Cochin,
yeah,
somebody I've worked out with almost 7 8 years.
yeah,
And when I work out with him, I kind of really do much better than doing alone.
yeah.
So I've been kind of juggling 5 days in Cochin, 5 days here, because all the training and horse riding and everything's happening here in Chennai.
Oof.
Um, so the training with him is happening in Cochin. So, like, I go 5 days, work out nicely, and then come back, and then I do the training here and work out
Wow,
on my own.
wow.
So, like, and then in between this, the singing and the all that is happening as well. So, just, I think, just go with the flow. And that's
Super
always
busy
been my that's
schedule.
always been my that's all. No, I mean, not always, right? There are times when, even like before lockdown, there are times when you, as a singer, you're just sitting on your ass, like, totally doing nothing for a week or two. And then suddenly my kids will be wondering, you're not going anywhere, like, you're not going, like, when I'm continuously at home for like 1 2 weeks, and I start becoming, strict, and or a little bit, and I'm like, don't do that, don't be like this, don't do this. They're like, aren't you traveling to Cochin and all that stuff. Like, my son is 5 years old, so he's a little bit more like, don't go to Cochin anymore, okay? And he's like a little more like that. My daughter is 12, so she's like preteen. So she's like, aren't you traveling? Don't you need to go somewhere? Don't you need to? Can you please, like, leave my room? So, like,
Amazing.
oh, 1 second.
Yeah,
Sorry. Uh,
all good.
call came
Yeah.
call came in.
No, no. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Put my. Are we good? Yeah.
Yeah, good, good. No, I mean,
I just put it on.
it's super busy schedule. I mean, the, with all the travels and stuff, you don't get tired,
It's something
or
I
you
love doing
enjoy
is
rather one.
I enjoy traveling, and the way I travel. I mean, sometimes, like, in between, like, I have to have my laptop, my iPad, my headphones,
Yeah.
um, and, like, my laptop bag is weighs, like, quite heavy most of the time. So, like, in between all this travel, I think last week or something, I had to come to Chennai for a day,
Yeah.
and that was pretty much, I think, the audio launch, the
Correct.
day of the audio launch, and then I had to go back the next day. So I kind of came in, um, and I came in, like, actually kind of for the first time in like years. I walked in through security just with like a like a pouch or something like that, and I just checked in my I still had check-in from like bringing back clothes and kind of reshuffling and taking some
Yeah.
more clothes back and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But now that I have a place in Cochin, like I can keep some stuff there and and whatnot.
Right.
But I just I can't travel without actually like packing properly, and like I go and unpack, and I know I'm just very finicky about all that. So
Yeah.
I'm just used to that, and I think somewhere if I'm tired, then I'll just stay put, or if anything, I'll just kind of
Yeah.
travel without much luggage or without much of this. But then I have no problem again packing up and going. It's
Yeah.
something that I enjoy doing.
Amazing. Amazing. Um, I have to talk about this song, Chittirai Nila, and
Yeah.
it's a classic. It plays on my daily playlist every day,
Oh, thank you.
and
Thank
especially
you so
when
much.
I'm driving, I just it goes crazy with the volume, and I love it. And
Yeah.
it's a very special song, and I'm very keen to
Yeah.
know any memories that it might bring.
It was my first song that I recorded for Mani sir and Vairamuthu sir.
Yeah.
Maybe not for Vairamuthu sir, but then the whole, I think I'd call it like the legendary trinity, so called, with Rahman sir, Vairamuthu sir, and Mani sir sitting in the console, and me standing in the booth, and kind of
Wow.
looking over, and whatever said and done, they're all three of them are
Yeah.
legends.
Yeah.
And when you sit on the other side, or rather stand in front of them, and like you're writing the lyrics and stuff like that, it's just a great feeling.
Did that make you
So
nervous
I
at
mean,
all?
I'm always, I think there are two three studios that when I go back in, even now, I'm so nervous. And that's one is Vijay Yesudas, like who's my first
Yeah.
music director that I recorded for. Um, and the other two are like Ilayaraja sir and A.R.Rahman sir. Just because I just we just don't know it. It just like and all three are different in three ways, right? Vidyasar sir, will teach you the song himself with a harmonium and all that. You got to kind of learn it, and
Yeah.
kind of be in the
Yeah.
zone immediately.
Yeah.
Ilayaraja sir, when I started, there was Soundarajan sir who used to teach the songs.
Yeah.
Then now it's Vasu Anna who. But then it's been a while. It's been almost, I think, almost 5 6 years since I've recorded for him. Um, with Rahman sir, it's like a straight 360. You just go there and you hear the track, and then he just says, "Okay, go," and then you feel like you like pushed out like on one of those bamboo boats onto the ocean and in the middle of the ocean, and you got to figure out how to keep this afloat and like how to row
Wow.
but then that's exciting too. But that's exciting too. It's different and it's exciting, and then you like start figuring out, oh, okay, now, okay, this emotion and this throw and this tone, and then now you're used to that. Now you go there, now you kind of now at least if Ramansa is not there, you get a few more minutes and you'd say, okay, play that again, let me listen to it and all that. If he's there though, he'd be like, okay, you're okay, good, go. And that kind of puts you, like at that time it was kind of me growing into that kind of school maybe.
Yeah.
But it's a great feeling though. I think that's the only thing. But otherwise once you get to that, and then it's so like casual, but at the same time he
Mm.
wants it perfect, and he wants it,
Mm.
and that's kind of it kind of gives you like,
Yeah.
for me, I'm just so old school a little bit, where it takes me time to warm up into it, and then kind of when I come back to the last pallavi is when maybe I do something a little more, on my own and stuff like that. So with Romancer, it takes me kind of out of my comfort zone, but it's still like I said, it's still exciting.
Yeah.
So Sithirenila, I think, was a little more, where because it was more of a very organized tune, and like the stanzas are there,
Mm.
and
Mm.
of course with Vairamuthu sir, you get the lyrics properly, and it's like nicely, neatly, narrated to you and whatnot. So, and then it's a lullaby, the feel of it, and
Yeah.
I love the lyrics of it because எல்லாமே ஒத்தையில நிக்குதடி, நீ கூட ஒத்தையில நிக்கிறடே. And then my favorite lyrics in that is, and I'm very bad with lyrics. My memory is so bad. Like I remember the tune, I remember the background, I remember where to start, stop, everything, but lyrics sometimes, even with my own songs. But this song especially, மனிதன் நினைத்தால் வழி பிறக்கும், மனதிலிருந்தே ஒளி பிறக்கும், புதைக்கின்ற விதையும் முயற்சி கொண்டால்தான் பூமியும் கூட தாழ்த்திறக்கும். எட்டு வை மக்கா, எட்டு வச்சு ஆகாசம் தொட்டு வை மக்கா. So, like those lyrics are so amazing. Like it's telling you, and like I think it's something that us like beings, human beings, really need to think about. We just feel like we just keep going with
Yeah.
no thought and no thing, but we just take a little effort to maybe just plant one tree, and and not just simply throw it there, but then plant it and actually take care of it.
Yeah.
And and this world is for us as well. It's like
Yeah.
so beautifully written like that. It's just that metaphor, that whole metaphor, and that whole thought is just
It's a beautiful song. Uh,
yeah,
I have two questions with regards to this particular song itself. One might sound really
yeah.
silly. The baby's
Hmm.
voice at the start, right?
Yeah.
Did you get to hear it when you were recording, or
I don't remember. I don't remember. No.
and whose baby was it?
This is your question, really? Rahman sir better not hear this. I have no idea, and I don't think it's. I think it was a sample. Obviously, it was a
I
sample.
figured.
I think I think it was because, like I said, it's a very similar baby crying to this other song, the song of my dad's.
I'll go back and listen to the other song since you
If you
mentioned.
listen to it, it's very similar. It's very similar. I don't know if it's the same baby, but uh, I think it's a baby in this generation, maybe a little bit.
And of course the other one, that especially for a song like that, when you were singing in the booth, of course, what was running in your mind? And how do you keep yourself focused on nailing it with three legends sitting there in front of you, the glass, through the glass,
Yeah,
and
it's nerve-wracking sometimes, but I mean, I guess that's how you kind of get to the next level, maybe, like
Mm,
just kind of break through that. Being nervous is okay, and having butterflies in your stomach is okay, and it's all a good thing. But if you're not doing the work, then you can't sit and tell them, you can't sit there and tell them, I'm just having butterflies seeing you all three. They don't care they don't care a damn about that. They want you to give what they're looking for. So like, so just buckle up and just then it's just about singing and just enjoying and just getting into it.
yeah,
I think after a point, sir itself is so encouraging. Like he just, okay man, yeah, come, that's it, you're sounding good. The way he says it, it's like you're like, okay, cool. That's
beautiful,
that's encouraging to hear. And then you just go from there. Yeah.
nice, nice. Um, Want to come to something that's releasing in about 1 week, the movie on the big
Mm-hmm.
screen, 99 songs. And I absolutely loved it, especially the fact that your song was right on the top when the album released. And I have to tell you this. Okay, I have to take pride in telling you this.
Okay.
The day before the credit list came out,
Okay.
sir gave me a call and he said,
Okay.
"Hey, I have an idea." And then this part will not come in the podcast. Of course, I can't just let it go. This is between
I
us
know. I figured, yeah.
because the fans will kill me. Um, so he called me and then he spoke to me for about 15 minutes, and that's when he had finished all the shooting at YM for the gig and everything. So he
Yeah.
came back and he thought about me on his way home, and then he called me straight away because, okay, here's another thing. So before he calls, his assistant Karthik, he will call one of like subsequently. First his call will come,
I
and
know.
then a minute later
Yeah,
another call, then his video call, and I would have freaked out by then. And then I've seen two missed calls from Sir, and I freaked out. I thought, oh my God, it's usually when he calls like that, I'm nervous that I have done something or something is urgent and then there is a problem or I don't know what it is. All sorts of things run in my mind. And I missed two calls from Sir. So then I called him back. He didn't pick my call. Then I called Karthik, and Karthik said, "Sir, ipada mela poirkari. He'll call you now. He's coming down." And by the
Hmm.
time I hung up the phone, Sir called, and he said, "Okay, just finish the shooting, man. I have an idea." So he said, "Look, the credit list we need to release, and I want to release it amongst the fans, and I think you and
So
I."
that's how you ended up releasing it.
So
Nice. Nice.
that's when I said, "Okay, sir, என்ன பண்ணிட்டோம் நானு." So I organized everything, and then I organized the Zoom call and everything, and then that's how that happened. And
Oh,
I
nice.
was the
Nice.
first one to see the credit list, and I saw your
Oh,
name
okay.
right
Okay.
on top.
So that's what, like, when I think Sharanya posted it, reposted it, and that's when I'm seeing like your page for the first time. And like, as in, like, that's when I'm seeing that, and I'm like wondering. So I'm like kind of, because I've not been involved in the
Yeah,
whole thing
yeah,
by that time yet, and so I'm like wondering, okay, if she's posted somebody else's thing, so where did she get it from? And I'm looking on the Rahman sir's page. Nothing has come there just yet. I think he just, I think he was just reposting it or something like that. Oh, I don't know. And then I realized, then this whole, like, whole thing about, it all started falling into place for me. So then I took it from Sharanya's, and then I think I reposted it from yours.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and that was nice to see my name on top. Like, it's I've never, I think, like, usually, even I think the last time in a Tamil film, I think it was for Billa or something, where I think Seval Kodi was on top, because it was an intro to Tala or whatever. So,
yeah.
like, those things are exciting, right? Sometimes when you see it, and you just kind of like, wow, you're there, on top of the credit list. It's nice. Usually, like, for a film like Talaivar film and all that, you see like SPP says, on top.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen my dad's, throughout the playlist sometimes.
Yeah,
It's nice.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, here's another little story as well. So, when obviously the indie album released about an year ago, and
yeah.
I've grown with it, and Oh Ashika especially has been extremely close to my heart and everything. And then I always wondered who would have sung the Tamil version, and I kept guessing, and then of course, I wasn't sure who it was, and then I think close to the release is when I I was how should I say? I was very restless, and I said I definitely want to know who has sung it. And then I pestered the guys, his assistants, and they said someone special. You'll love it. I didn't get to know even then.
Oh, that's nice.
And so
That's
I
good. They
saw the
kept it in
credit list.
suspense for you.
I saw the
Also,
credit
that's
list,
when
and I
you
was blown
knew.
away.
That's when you knew.
That's when I
That's
knew.
all.
Until
Oh,
and
wow.
when I saw the credit list is when I knew, and I
Oh,
was
nice.
super happy. And
Yeah.
then I hear this track. Man, it blew me
Yeah.
away. It blew me away.
So,
I
like,
love
when they called me for the 22nd or 21st shoot, I think it was 22nd shoot, and 23rd was my birthday. We shot it on 22nd, and so I was like, making all plans with my friends to go somewhere in Varkala or something like that. Just, like, places where, COVID cases are less, and little secluded places and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then suddenly I get a call from Karthik, and I'm like, he's like, 21st is rehearsal and 22nd is, I'm like, oh God, really? And not Karthik, from Smriti or whatever. And I'm like,
Yeah.
really, it's my birthday. And I'm like, I really don't want to travel back to Chennai and then have to come back to Cochin again. And
Yeah.
but then that's exactly kind of what I did. I flew back on 21st for the rehearsal, and then 22nd the shoot happened, and I said, like, I wanted to get back home quickly, and I ended up performing first also. Like, I begged them to put me first, so that that I could finish and get back home, so that my kids and I could spend time and bring the birthday in and all that stuff. So,
Amazing.
I was just particular because Christmas happened with me being in the
Correct.
hospital, so I
Correct.
didn't want them to, like,
Yeah.
miss anything of my birthday. And then that's what I did, so it was nice.
Beautiful.
But then,
Beautiful.
to be part of that performance and that whole shoot
Yeah.
and everything was amazing. So, like, even 2 days before that, they called me, and they, like, suddenly called me from the studio. They said there
Yeah.
might be one line correction in Telugu or Tamil, and you might need to come in to correct it, but we'll check and let you know. And I'm like, okay. I was like, So that was just 2 days before, and I'm like,
Wow.
okay, yeah. Sometimes that's how it is with them.
Right,
So, but
right.
yeah, you're always on the edge with them. So
Of
it's
course, of
kind of
course. And any memories of recording this one in particular?
um, I think I mean yeah, both the Telugu and Tamil. I think I kind of did back to back, or
Yeah.
actually it's something like I remember doing. I think Tamil first.
Mm.
Oh no, I think I did Telugu first. I think,
Right.
and Tamil lyrics hadn't been ready at that time or
Mm,
something like
mm,
that.
mm,
So, but it's a little vague. I mean, it's not as memorable.
mm.
Recording it as much as as much as say the other songs.
Yeah.
But I think everything else after that, like now the
Yeah.
release and the shoot
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
all these things are quite memorable. So I
Beautiful.
think it kind of balances out in that way. But
And
yeah, the studio, I mean, like going into the studio, coming out at 6 a.m. or like, stuff like that. Sometimes you're confused, which recording did I do that for? So
true, true.
yeah,
Especially with that song at the in the part when you say Amma, that does
yeah.
something to me. Especially that,
I mean,
yeah.
even for me, the way the song grows, and I
Yeah.
think when I performed it live at that shoot also,
Mm,
it was so like it was so like nice to perform with Shivamani sir there and the whole band and sir sitting in the back on the piano, and all that was quite exciting. And I can't wait for people to see that soon. So
yeah, for sure. And
mm,
Vijay, look, it's been such an amazing experience to be talking to you, and
totally,
you
totally.
gave me much more than what I had asked for. And looks like I can
Mm.
I can already think of podcast 2.0 with you, which should go for another 2 hours or something. We have so much to talk, and
Soon, soon, soon. By
and
that time, I think we'll do a podcast of a whole day with me. People might get bored, but I think you and I might have fun, but I think people might get bored.
no, no, you have a huge fan following. So the thing is, I mean, as part of this I Love ARR podcast, what's also happened is Sir's fans and everyone's fans from all part of the world started connecting with me. And then
Oh,
now
nice.
what's called this I Love ARR community was evolved as part of this. Right.
Yeah,
And fans from all parts of the world, UK, USA, everywhere.
yeah,
And
it's beautiful.
so obviously I couple of days ago I told them that Vijay is coming on the podcast, and they were all super, super excited. And there
Yeah,
was this
thank
one
you.
fan particularly, she said, if you don't get him to sing this, I'm going to be very angry with you. And this is Sahara. And she
Ah,
said, it's a magical song. Please, please ask him to sing 2 lines just for me. Her name is Divya from
sure, sure.
Sydney.
Okay, Divya from Sydney, and for Chandar, whose song,
Thank you.
for who this was the first song that kind of hooked us together, I guess, in a way.
Yes, for sure, for sure.
um, so yeah, here we go. சஹாரா பூக்கள் பூத்ததோ சஹானா சாரல் தூவுதோ என் விண்வெளி தலைக்கு மேல் திறந்ததோ அடடா அந்த வெண்ணிலா வீட்டுக்குள் நுழைந்ததோ அது என்னுடன் தேநீர் கொண்டதோ கனவோ நிஜமோ காதல் மந்திரமோ ஓர் ஆயிரம் ஆண்டுகள் சேமித்த காதல் இது 100,000 ஆண்டுகள் தாண்டியும் வாழும் இது சஹாரா பூக்கள் பூத்ததோ சஹானா சாரல் தூவுதோ.
Beautiful, beautiful, Vijay. I absolutely love
Thank
it.
you, thank you,
I mean,
thank you,
more than your voice, I absolutely love the person you are. That's the best part. I mean,
thank you so much.
I just feel like I can go out for dinner with you and just talk to you for hours. I owe
think
you a
I
dinner.
think
When
we
I
could
come
do
to
that
India, I'll definitely come and visit.
next time. Do let me know. Do let me know. Surely,
And likewise, when you come to Melbourne, I would like to take you out for sure.
definitely. I have a lot of friends in Melbourne and Sydney.
Wow.
Like the last time I came in, we a very two close friend, a couple friend of mine,
Yeah.
they took me out to the vineyards, and
Wow.
and it was, I think, I don't know where we went, but it was
Yarra
really
Valley.
nice food, and yeah, but it was one of those places, and it was really
Did
amazing.
you go to
So
Great Ocean Road? They
I
put
have
you to
not been till now.
not win, huh?
No, see,
Okay.
I never had enough time for that. We
Yeah, yeah,
planned it,
yeah.
but it
Yeah.
was kind of I think, a rainy day or something like that, and so we just kind of checked the
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah.
But I think I've been holding that off for a time when I can come in and relax and just go.
For sure, for sure. I
So
hope that happens soon.
sometime soon, yeah.
Vijay, thank you so much for joining. And
Thank
you
you
gave
so
me
much.
so much time, and you were just not in rush for absolutely anything. And
No, my
absolutely
pleasure.
adore you for the person you are. That's the best part. And just remain the same. And we
Pleasure
guys
is
from
mine.
the I
Pleasure
Love
is
AR
mine.
community absolutely love you. So
Thank you so much. Thank you, and to all of Sir's fans, thank you so much for all the encouragement and all the love that you give him and everybody who works with him. Thank you so much for all that, and thank you, Chandar, for
thank you.
being such a good host and just not making me, like, wanting to stop.
No, I just want to hear. That's it. I can be
Yeah,
seated for hours together, and it's
good.
it's like the childlike excitement for me, Vijay. To be brutally honest with you, because for me, these are the songs that has helped me evolve, and it has taken me out of situations where I found it very difficult to deal with, like Sahara, Chitirainila, and all these songs, and
Yeah,
it has brought tears in my
that's
eyes.
nice
These
to.
songs,
It's really nice to hear that.
and talking to the person behind it, it gives me so much excitement, and I'm like, I'm running high on energy, and I'll keep buzzing for the next couple of hours before I go to sleep. And that's the best part about my journey. I absolutely love it.